Hi everyone, Shane R. Monroe here. We're going to start on desktop mode, but real quick, if you happen to have like dual monitors or an extra monitor plugged in, something like I have here, where you have two screens, you're going to want to merge them both into the built-in screen so that what you're seeing on both screens is the same. It sounds weird, but trust me, I already went through this whole bit. Just make sure that it's there. You can put it back after we're done. Next up, we're going to run over and grab the app image that we need. And I will have the URL in the description, of course. This is called Goverlay. We're going to download the latest release. So click on Releases, grab the latest releases app image. It's right here. And save it to your desktop or wherever. I prefer the desktop because you may have to run this 2 or 3 times. It's a little crashy. Fortunately for this video, it only crashed once, but you'll understand why I wanted to have it on the desktop. So now's the opportunity if you wanted to rename it, because you're going to be using this probably more than once. I will go ahead and rename it to Goverlay or Goverlay or however he pronounces it. I am typing over a microphone here, so give me a break. All right, so now we're going to run this app image. We do have to agree that it's safe to run. And 2 windows are going to open up. One is actually a generation window of graphics so that the overlay shows up, and the actual overlay UI. Now, here's what the overlay looks like by default. We're just going to center this UI over that spinning box because it makes me crazy watching that box. So this is sort of a default UI for the HUD overlay. Now, here we have all sorts of tabs. We're going to look at this stuff, and you have some basic presets, such as full, which gives you like a lot. You have a basic, which will give you a little less, and then basic horizontal and FPS only. And we'll flip through each one of these just so you can see sort of the difference. Oh, see, it crashed. And this seems to happen frequently, but fortunately for the purposes of this video, it only happened that one time. So just be smart and save as you go. All right, let's reset this up. Great. There's your basic horizontal. And of course, the real standard quick and easy FPS only. Then you have custom, but you can't quite use that just yet because if you click custom, it will tell you you need to save a custom config first. All right, well, let's start off with something like basic horizontal, and we're going to deck this thing out. Now, we're going to click this hamburger and click save as custom config. That's going to actually save our config to a separate file than if you hit the green button. This will all make sense later. If you click the green button, it saves it to a MangoHud config. If you click the hamburger menu, it saves it to the custom config. So you can kind of have 2 at the same time. Let's mess with the colors a little bit. We have our standard HUD. We have this sort of cool little colors, all white. And then of course this, my eyes, the goggles do nothing pink. All right, so we'll stick with the standard colors for now. Next, let's go over to visual. Now this is, of course, all the visual changes you can make. Now there's a title at the top that you're supposed to be able to set, but since there's no word title anywhere in here, I don't think it really does anything. And remember, this is mainly for like pure Linux. It just happens to work for the Steam Deck. Orientation, borders, colors. This positioning thing doesn't work all the time. How many columns you want. The list goes on and on. Compact HUD, which we're going to look at later. So what you'll notice right away is if I change orientation, nothing happened. It's still horizontal. What the hell? You have to save it each and every time you make a change. So if you click green, it will save it to one file. So we're just going to use the MangoHud for now. And you'll see if I click it again, it'll change back to the horizontal, which is perfect. And so what we'll do is we'll set a whole bunch of things at once and then save them all at once instead of changing one, going back and saving it, changing one, going back and saving it. Every time you save it, you're going to end up with the possibility of it crashing, right? So you might want to just go in and make a couple of changes and then save it and see how it goes. Now, I'm playing reckless, fast, and loose here by changing a bunch of stuff, but in the future, probably we won't do that. All right, so if we go to performance, we see things like FPS averages. You can actually change your frame timer from a grid to a histogram, which I kind of like that. And there's all sorts of other stuff here. I'm not 100% sure how to monkey with this stuff, so I'm just going to kind of leave it alone. Most people are interested in like adding the time or removing things that they don't care about. So once again, we'll save now that we're done with this tab. You can see here, of course, there's no frame changes going on here, so it's hard to see, but yeah, it did change. All right, so now we have some other stuff here in metrics. And again, you can change some colors here. You can add stuff, VRAM, that's great. GPU temperatures, fans. Now, for some reason, clicking in fans didn't seem to do anything. And I think maybe that there's a different command to get your fan curves in here. Maybe something special to the Steam Deck. So, I mean, I tried this over and over again, and I couldn't get anything about fan speed to appear. So, not 100% sure on that one. I'll have to do some more research. But there's all sorts of stuff. If you're a complete control freak over the data that you see, your CPU temperature, that might be interesting to have. So now if you look up at CPU, it shows a percentage as well as your temperature in centigrade, but maybe you'd like to see that in Fahrenheit. You can actually change that. That's pretty cool. I'll show you that in a minute. So you can turn all this stuff on and off, whatever you like. There you go. Looks pretty good. So let's see. Let's go on to the next tab. Extras. Well, this is where the time is. If you've been looking to add the time to your overlay, then it's in here. But there's lots of other stuff in here. What version of the wine or engines are running, what version of wine's running, all sorts of stuff for the discerning individual to change and set. That's pretty cool. Now we're in Fahrenheit. That's something I can understand. 130 degrees. That's pretty warm. All right. And let's see, what else do we want to do here? Oh, here's something we can do. Like this GPU and CPU and some of this text can be changed. So let's go to Compact HUD first because there's a lot of spacing. Now see how it's all kind of crunched together? It's a little more efficient in terms of space. So you can decide if you like that or not. Now I've got more room for crap though. I'm going to turn the time on. And now you can see the time appears at the end. That's great. Now you're probably saying I want the time in the front. We'll show you how to do that a little bit later on. You can't do it from within here. But you can change like GPU and CPU. You can change the colors too if you want to. But let's say we just want to say G and C, right? We don't need the whole thing as long as we know what the category is. So now we got G and C. So it's a little more compact. We've got more room to put crap at the end. It's pretty good. All right, so we're going to go ahead and save it off. So that saves it as MangoHud, and we're going to save it as a custom config. So both those files are now this. All right, let's close everything off. Go to Dolphin File Manager, and you're going to go to the Home folder and Config. Now, if you can't see Config in your Home folders because you don't have Show Hidden Files turned on, make sure you do that. And here are the two files, MangoHud and Custom, just like I promised. All right, so we have both of those. Now, these don't work as they are, right? You can't just make those changes and have them pick up. It doesn't work that way. And what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to rename one of them to presets. Now, I didn't purposefully do it, but it's useful. I typed it all in uppercase. That will not work. It needs to be all lowercase. Presets.config. Now, remember, both of those two files had the same thing. Now, if I only was working off one of them, I'd want to make a copy of it and then make it a presets.config. But let's take a look at what's inside here. Wow, there's a lot of stuff in here. If you had to make that by hand, that would have probably, well, let's just say it probably would have sucked. All right, we're done here for now. Now we need to go see the fruits of our labor. Unfortunately, you will not be able to get that HUD to come up while you're in desktop mode, so we are going to work ourselves over to gaming mode and test one of our games. All right, now that we're back in gaming mode, let's go ahead and launch the game of your choice. Mine just happens to be Overwatch because it's convenient. And when the game launches proper, you will see the MangoHud overlay, but that does not look anything like what we selected. So maybe it's one of these other ones. Nope, nope, and nope. So what we just did, all that stuff that we created is not in here anywhere. It's because we have something else we have to do. Now, I'm using SSH on my Windows PC to access those configuration files on my Steam Deck, and I can do this in real time. So I'm going to open up my Notepad window on my PC and overlay it here so you can see that I'm looking at the MangoHud config that was originally created, and I also have the presets config that we renamed the custom config to. So let's take a look at these side by side. They're definitely the same thing, right? So that's not the problem. So there's definitely something missing from presets that we must do in order to make this work. I'll make this a little bigger for you, and you can definitely verify. See, there's this all looks the same. So it's not that we didn't copy the right stuff. What you have to do is you have to explicitly set which preset this is going to use. So we're going to say preset 1. Make sure you use the brackets and all lowercase. Save it. And I'm going to switch to 2 and then back to 1. Hey, there it is. This is why I do it this way, right? Because I can in real time change things and then just flip the configs and it'll pick right up. So this is really cool if you've got the means to do it. I do have an SSHFS video that will help you be able to do this same sort of thing. So we're going to copy this whole thing and we're going to paste it. No, not that one. We're going to have to paste it all again. And this time we're going to set it as a different preset. So we'll make this preset 2, right? So now I can do preset 1, 2, 3, 4, and each one of them can be different. I'm going to take the time and move it. This time I'm going to put it right next to the GPU because these render in the order of operations. I'm going to save that and let's take a look at how that works. So we're going to flip over between the two configurations and we'll see how it looks. So we'll turn it off. Number 1, the clock is on the right and the preset 2 that we defined should have the clock on the left. And there it is. And that's all there is to it. So you can sit and dink with this for hours and hours and get exactly what you want. All 4 of them, different things, different times, however you like it. Hey, listen, if you enjoy what we're doing here, like, subscribe, hit the bell. You guys know what to do. I'm Shane R. Monroe. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care.